We do not have to look like the Beverly Hillbillies anymore with all the fenders on the side, just getting ready for the next lock. I was actually able to store all the fenders and all the lines like I normally do. Hi, I'm Rev.
And I'm Sam, and we are continuing on America's Great Loop aboard the Here's to Us.
You sound like a radio announcer. Anyway, today we're going to talk about our trip from Oswego, New York, all the way to Bath, Ontario, Canada.
Where we are right now. It was a long day.
Yeah, really long day.
And it actually started the night before because the weather was, we had run a number of different scenarios. I stayed up late, had a number of scenarios so that when we woke up in the morning, we discussed what we were going to do. But before that, we actually stayed there for 2 nights.
We did, and we stayed an extra day there in Oswego because the weather was terrible and thunderstorms were supposed to come through. And so we decided to stay longer. And what happened?
Yeah, actually,
what happened?
Actually, we had a power outage.
Power went out. Not just for us, for
like
our side of the
city,
river.
For the entire half side of the river that we were on.
It was weird.
Yeah, as if they didn't have enough water levels high there. It looks like they were going to have like an entire week of rain. But anyway, the power came back on.
Yes, and so we had a good evening, and like Sam said, he did a lot of planning that night, but we woke up and we still weren't sure where we were going to go. The morning was beautiful. We knew we were going to go to Canada, but weren't really sure.
Well, actually, we had a couple of different scenarios. We were going to go to Sackett's Harbor, or we were going to go to Clayton, or we were going to go to Kingston.
That's right.
And so one of those places, and we didn't go because the weather system was looking like, well, we would get penned in for about 3 days, and we would go all the way to Clayton and really not be able to see Thousand Islands. And there was also there was a power boat poker run,
speed power boat.
That was coming up for the weekend. So
gonna be crazy over there.
Something you want to do in a big boat and be trying to sightsee on a weekend when the weather's marginal and there's a poker run. So, well, anyway, we got up and we decided, hey, we're going to head to Kingston. We had everything planned to go to Kingston, and then we got a call from a lady at Loyalist Cove, where we are now, and they said they could get us in. And so we decided, hey, we'll go to Loyalist Cove, which is in Bath, Ontario, and we replanned.
Right. So they usually only take boats up to 50 feet. And we're a little more, because we have a dinghy on the back of ours, we're a little more than that. But because the water's high, they were able to take us.
Yeah.
So let's talk about getting out to
so we got out of the marina.
Lake Ontario.
Out of Oswego, out of the channel. Rev took care of all the lines, getting all the fenders in because we were going from canal mode into lake crossing one of the Great Lakes.
We do not have to look like the Beverly Hillbillies anymore with all the fenders on the side, just getting ready for the next lock. I was actually able to store all the fenders and all the lines like I normally do.
Yeah, so we got a chip shape and got out into the lake, and it was calm enough for us to do a sea trial, the Wizard for the autopilot, the sea trial Wizard, which we had to do because we could not get the autopilot to engage. I had been on the phone with Garmin over the 2 days that we were in Oswego. So we had calm seas, accomplished that. The autopilot would engage. However, when we looked down at it, we were 180 degrees out on the heading. So it was kind of comical because it was engaged. We were going to our destination, but the boat was backwards.
Yes, so we looked on the screen of the Garmin, and instead of the boat headed up toward Canada, it was flipped around as like we were backing up all the way to Canada.
But
weird.
It worked. We called Garmin on the phone while we were crossing Lake Ontario, and it's amazing cell phones work.
Yeah, it is. And you know, we have T-Mobile as our regular phone, but for this trip, we also got another cell phone as a backup with Verizon. And there are portions, different times crossing Lake Ontario that the Verizon would go out and then the T-Mobile would go out.
So it was good to have two carriers anyway. So it was amazing, though, crossing Lake Ontario. We, for 2 hours, did not see another boat.
Yeah.
And we didn't see land.
Weird.
And we saw
really
depths
weird.
of like 700 feet below us.
I know.
It was amazing.
That
It was like
crazy.
the enormity of, wow, how small we are, even this big old boat. 700 feet of water below you, and nothing for 2 hours did we see.
Right. So once we crossed into Canada, we got an. How did you find out? I got a T-Mobile notice. Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, welcome to Canada.
Did you see it on the Garmin map or something?
It came up. Something came up.
So
there.
when we got closer to the marina, we have a flag. It's a quarantine flag. It's solid yellow, and so I unfurled it on the back. Now tell them what the quarantine flag means.
Yeah, the
when
quarantine
you're coming
flag
to Canada.
is basically, it means that the ship is free of disease, ready for boarding and inspection by officials. So the yellow flag signifies that. But
not that we want to be boarded by officials or anything.
But let me tell them what happened before that. Is before we got to Adolphus Reach, which was the inlet there that we came into, the sea calmed down a little bit more, and we were able to re-accomplish the autopilot Sea Wizard, and it worked just fine. We got through all the steps, and this time the boat is going in the right direction on the screen. So we were happy with that, and everything was working just fine.
Yep.
So got into the harbor here.
So we had our yellow flag flying, and they told us the marina monitored channel 68, so they told us which side to put the fenders and the lines out on, which is always very helpful to have some notice before we got here. So we did that.
Maneuvered the boat in, got it in, and got tied up. And once we accomplished our shutdown checklist, I got off the boat, went into the marina office with our passports.
I had to stay on board.
Rev had to stay on board the boat. Called the Canadian officials, answered questions, had the documents ready, read off the things.
So what did they ask you?
Well, they asked for passport information, names, all that kind of stuff that's on your passport.
Okay.
Boat registration. They'll ask you what you have on board, if you have any cannabis or cannabis food, alcohol, those types of things.
It's a different time we're living in.
So just be honest with them, follow the rules.
And the alcohol. They asked you if we had any alcohol.
And we were within the limits on the alcohol, so we were just fine.
Yep.
Very friendly. The folks
nice.
here at the marina are sponsors of the American Great Loop Cruisers Association. Very friendly folks, and got cleaned up, and we were offered some bikes to go into town.
Yes, how nice. They had free bikes. It is middle of July. They got these bikes before the season, and we were the first ones to ride it. So they said other loopers had their bikes with them on board already, so they didn't have a need for the bikes. But we biked into town. We ate at a cute little family restaurant, J&P, I think it was called.
J&P's family restaurant.
Really good.
Great dinner.
Really nice.
Biked back, and here we are. We're all planned for tomorrow.
Are we?
Yeah, we're all planned.
Okay.
Autopilot is
Half of our
ready to
team
go.
is ready.
The weather looks great, so we're going to get a great night's sleep. And we have about a 55-mile journey to Trenton tomorrow, where we will bed down there
and get ready.
How long does
that take?
That'll take us about 5 hours or so.
Okay,
do a
5
nice
hours.
Cruising 10 miles an hour speed, maybe a little faster if we can do it. But anyway, looks like a great day tomorrow.
All right,
so
then. Well,
be sure to join us.
Yeah, this was our trip today, and catch us on our next little cruise of the Great Loop.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye.